It was not built to reach heaven. It was built to drag heaven down to earth. The waters of the great flood had receded, but the fear remained in their bones. Never again, they whispered, we will not be scattered. From the east they came, a sea of people, moving as one body, breathing as one lung. They found a plain in Shinar, and there they stopped. They did not need stone. They had fire. And they had a leader.
He did not just want a city. He wanted a throne above the clouds. Let us make a name, he said.
By my will, this city will rise.
But unity requires submission. The clay turned to brick, the freedom turned to chains. Men became gears in a machine of mud and bitumen. The smoke of the kilns blackened the sun. There was no rest, only the whip. And slowly, the monster began to rise. A challenge thrown into the face of God. Year after year, the shadow grew longer. They used bitumen for mortar, black blood of the earth. The plain below shrank until men became ants. If a brick fell, they wept. If a man fell, they kept building. Nimrod stood where only eagles dared to fly. The air grew thin. The wind grew angry. Clouds were no longer above them, they were around them. Torches burned in the thin air like stars. They were knocking on the gates of heaven. And heaven was watching. Then the silence fell from the stars. The wind stopped. The air turned heavy like lead. It was not a weapon of fire. It was a weapon of the mind. A man asked for brick, but his brother heard only gibberish. Confusion bred fear. Fear bred violence. The great machine broke. Nimrod screamed commands, but his voice was just noise in the wind. The unity of the hive was shattered in an instant. The hammer dropped. The fire died. Babel went silent.
The brothers looked at each other and saw strangers. The city was no longer a home. It was a cage of madness. They ran. They ran from the tower, and they ran from each other. North, south, east, west. The rivers of humanity flowed apart. The scaffolding rotted. The bricks crumbled. The wind reclaimed the silence. Nimrod stood alone, a king of nothing.
Look at the ruins in the sand. They tried to make a name for themselves, but they forgot who gave them the breath to speak. We still build towers today, higher, stronger. But without God, every tower is just a tomb. They called it Babel, the gate of God. But history remembers it by another name: confusion.